Land, undefeated of Iowa State, but a super freshman for Iowa, Randy Lewis.
From Rapid City, South Dakota.
Who was a tremendous pinner in high school, and he's a tremendous prospect.
I'll say, in fact, he had 83 pins out of his 93 bouts while in high school. That gives you a little idea.
And he's very, very dangerous. Iowa State recruited him hard, too. Everybody did who wanted a good wrestler. And he has a record of 14-3. You can see Land going in high on that.
Kind of a single
leg.
forearm. Now he goes in.
And he has it with a... He gets the point.
That was a good move on the part of Land. He went in real deep on that single with kind of a forearm bar with it. Mike
Land has had a very good year. In his first 2 years, he had a little trouble with occasionally a slump in midseason. But he hasn't had it in 1977-78.
That's very true, Doug. I think sometimes that comes about with the longevity of the season. It gets pretty long, and a young man maybe will hit his peak sooner than others, and consequently, it's my understanding he didn't start quite so early this year, and maybe that'll be to his advantage. I'm sure he's hoping so.
But he's in there with a tremendously dangerous wrestler, Lewis of Iowa, and Mike Land of Iowa State on top. 18-26 and nothing is Mike Land's record. 26 and zip. And there he is. He has a hammerlock. He's keeping a arm barred back there.
He's keeping a lot of pressure on that, too.
Yes, he is. He's a very stable wrestler.
I think the thing to keep in mind here is with the pinning capability of this Lewis boy, that Land is going to have to maintain control through the entire match. And I mean mat control, down on the mat, keeping a lot of pressure bearing down, broken down, so that the young man cannot afford to come back into working for a pin situation.
You can see the time ticking away there. Land keeping pressure on. He had an ankle block at one time, the leg up the back. Lewis can't find that whizzer. He wanted that.
Land's going to have to move up here.
Yes. I think he's got the period all okay without a point scored against him. It's 2-0.
Doug, it's rather interesting, this young Randy Lewis here in his sophomore year in high school, the 98-pounder, all 29 matches he had by pins.
Isn't that amazing?
Hey girls, you're too
well,
close.
there's one of the pom-pom girls at Iowa State, wrestling cheerleaders, I think. Well, I'll tell you, everybody's here. The Iowa State football team uses this as a big recruiting weekend, and they bring in people from all around the country, and they like to send these youngsters in here to see a big meet with 14,000 people and show them what Iowa State is like. Now, Lewis starting on top. Land fighting him in the hands in a stand-up position. And he's out immediately with 15 seconds. But Lewis is right back. The score 3-0. Lewis comes in with a single leg, and Land sprawls out of it.
He's doing a good job of sprawling, although Lewis looks pretty determined.
And there's the little look for a pancake that Land likes, and then he goes for a high crotch and gets it. Trying to suck it in.
He's going to have to bring it in and come around. It may be a stalemated situation here, as the Lewis boy appears to be fairly strong also.
Land so far has given Lewis a lot to think about. And generally in fairly stable situations. He's the kind of youngster you don't want him to get into troubled waters. He likes to fish in troubled water.
Good move on the part of Land. He stayed in there tough. He got that leg hook back behind. He used the trip. Came out the back door for 2.
5-0 as Land gets the takedown there.
Notice again there, Doug, both teams rely heavily on this whizzer overhook because it's such a tremendously good counter for a number of offensive moves on the bottom.
Now, these two youngsters have met once this year already. They met in the Midlands, and I frankly was surprised, as I knew Lewis was quite good, that Land, who won the title in there, beat him 8-1.
That's good right there.
And now he's going at him again.
Okay, here comes the escape on the part of Land. You see he came out the back.
Back to live action again. Lewis stands up, turns in. And Land has to hold on to that leg. Now, in some situations like this, a good wrestler will try to turn that into a pinning hold from the defensive position.
Stalemate, boys, start again.
It was a stalemated situation, and it was a good call.
1:35 left in the second period. Land has more than 1:45 time advantage. There is Randy Lewis trying to figure some way to get 5 points back in a hurry. Land rolled him up.
Land's doing just about what I think he has to do for this match, and that is, as I indicated earlier, he's keeping a lot of pressure down there, keeping him broken down off of his base, off his knees, off his hands, so that he can't put anything together for a pinning combination. As we indicated earlier, the Lewis boy is a real pinner, even though he's a freshman. But when you're down off your base, there's not much you can do.
Land has that arm block back there. turned it into a chicken wing. Now he's looking for maybe a half Nelson to go with it. He's got a double arm bar. No, he doesn't quite have the other arm. Now Lewis has got the one out, but he still is in a chicken wing position. And Lewis is having to really struggle here.
Well, Land's just doing an excellent job of riding back there on top, using a combination of bar, arm series, and the chicken wing, which he has on his near side now.
50 seconds left, by the way, David. 5-0, Land leading. Iowa won the first 118-pound match. Dan Glenn over McCurney, 8-5. And this is the second. There is Mike Land.
Land slipping a half Nelson on that far side every once in a while, but there's not much he can do on the far side with a half Nelson over here unless he gets on over to the other side. He's using that as an offensive gimmick.
And he puts the leg in, or tries to. He lost his man. The score is 5-1. This match is far from over.
That was a good maneuver on the part of Lewis.
13 seconds left. Now we're counting down 10, 9 in the second period. You can watch the clock. There's the end of the second period.
Here's escape on the part of Lewis right here. There's a case where Land was riding a little bit high, and as a result, just a little duck out by Lewis gave him the 1-point escape.
You're looking at the Iowa bench, and the man looking up here, the mustache, is Jay Robinson, who is an assistant coach. Dan Gable is about 2 people down, and he's behind one of his wrestlers. You can't see him.
Okay, top man.
Land is the top man. You're looking at Randy Lewis. 5-1, Land leads. Lewis has to get out.
It was an awful quick maneuver on the part of Lewis there on that stand-up escape and a whip over, but he wasn't successful at it.
Turn to a whizzer. Now this one looks a little bit better. Now Land would like to turn that into maybe an over and under, get the other leg across, but it looks to me as if Lewis has pretty good position now. He's out.
He's gained the neutral position, 1-point escape.
5-2, but Land goes right back to the leg again and is trying to bring it up.
It would appear to me, Doug, that they're somewhat near the center of the mat, and Land's going to score that too right there because he's going to hook. There it is, see? He's going to hook, and then he's going to sprawl back through the middle. Well, he's taking the far arm and the far arm
and ankle, and he got the 2 points. A fine workman-like takedown there by an unbeaten wrestler, Mike Land of West Des Moines. He has lost another point now. Let's get the score up to date. 7-3 as Lewis comes out. Now head and arm control, and Land has Lewis on his back. Land has Lewis on his back. He's still on his back. There are 2 points for takedown, and he has Lewis in a near fall situation. I'm not sure he can handle it here, but he's going to get points out of it.
He's got a 2-pointer, I'm sure.
9-3 as it stands with 1:40 left.
That was
and 2 more. The referee gives him a 2 for a near fall. It's now 11-3, and that would be a major decision if it held. And he also has a lot of riding time.
Well, I'll say he does. He's looking tough tonight.
He sure is. We have 1:25 left in the match, but Lewis is still a toughie.
Yes, he is, and he just can't afford to give him any breathing room if he does. As we've said before, he's a real pinner. And
Land is using that front Nelson beautifully.
Well, he's got a front quarter Nelson with a chin lock in there, looks like, or a head.
He let him out. He let him out. Now it's 11-4. I'm not sure. Maybe he figures he can take him down every time because he doesn't want to lose that 8 points. With the riding time, it's 11-4. He's got a single leg. He takes Lewis up in the air, turns on him. Lewis is holding on across the middle to keep from losing points. Holding on. If Land can come around here, there's every chance of he's getting another takedown.
He's out near the edge. If he hangs in there pretty tough, he's got 40 seconds. He'll get his 2-point takedown. Looks like he's going to go up. The whizzer in there. Look at there. There's that whizzer again.
Lewis got out of it.
33 seconds. Left.
Now it's 11-4.
Here's that front quarter Nelson, and he's got the kind of a head chancery on the far side, and he's really bearing down on it. He's got Lewis in trouble right now. He's going to have the 2-point near fall without any doubt.
Now the question is,
Step in there.
Is not only who's going to win, but by how much. 11-4, and Land has a chance for a superior decision, and he's in an excellent position now because he's just sucked in a leg.
He's got to get that 2-pointer. He's got 20 seconds left to get it in.
20 seconds.
But he's looks like he may lose it. He's got to hang
he's going to have to hold on now. 14, 13. If here's the story. If Lewis gets some points,
That's a good call. That's a stalemate situation because the match would have ended that way had the referee let it continue, and should have been stalemate. It's a good call. 8 seconds left.
Now, there are two young men out there now who could tell you how hard it is, as Harold Nichols looks on, how tough it is to wrestle 8 minutes full out against superior competition. 1 second. And it's a major decision for Mike Land. 12 to 4. 12 to 4. And so Iowa State takes the lead after 2 minutes.